Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good day, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. If you have my voice, just confirm so we can start the class. Okay, thank you very much. I see that some of the students still they are not in class, but it's not important. I try to just do the quick review on what we said before. Also, I promised that I will review everything that I taught in last week in this session, because today we have enough time, and on the weeks that you have only one session, we don't have enough time to review and repeat things. We should just go on and go through the slides, but today we have enough time. We have two sessions and I can do the revision for you, so it's better that I just go back a few slides back before I come to the wireless attacks. We can start from a slide, I think. Infrastructure, I think it's slide 5. We can start from here. Just a quick review. If you remember, we said that when you have one access point, good day everybody, assalamu alaikum. If you have one access point and one area to cover, like this area, okay, we call this one basic service set, or the service which has been provided or is provided by one access point. But if you have a wide area, if you have a big area, you should use several access points, or you should use more than one access point to cover the whole area. But when you use different access points, the problem is that maybe the computers, like those are here, or computers which are here, want to travel or move between the areas. Okay, they want to, for example, move from area 1 to area 2, or vice versa. When they move, something that which is important for the wireless to keep the session alive, okay, or keep the session for the nodes that they don't have to reconnect or connect again to the system. That's why we have extended service service which has been provided by different access point, or by more than one access point, but all they work together. Okay, they work together, and when somebody moves from one area to another area, we keep the session, we keep the connection, okay, and we try to keep it connected to the network. So when they need to work together, or to cooperate, we have to give them all same SSID. So this is the SSID should be same. We can give them all, or we should give them all same SSID, and nodes easily can move between the different areas. So when one node work with one access point, as you see in the figure, for example, this node work with this access point, this node work with this access point, and this node work with this access point. When they work with one access point, we say that it has association with that access point. Still, I kept them in the nodes. If you look at the nodes, okay, the last thing that I typed and I kept in the note was the association, disassociation, reassociation, and concept of beacon. So when you communicate with one access point, for the first time that you want to connect, you use association or association frame, which is one of the management frame to connect to access point. This association is more like a disconnect. You can see it in the note, and reassociation means that connect again. Also, access point needs to send its SSID or to broadcast its SSID as a beacon to the area. There are two main reasons that access point should broadcast its SSID, should or have to broadcast its SSID in the area. Okay, it should broadcast its SSID in the area. The first thing is for devices to see it and connect. Okay, and for devices to see and connect, and the second one is to avoid interference. Okay, connect in Arabic, so the first reason is if we say alef, the first reason is for اتصال. Okay, and the second reason is to اجتناب from or التشویش. Thank you, Rasha. Yes, it's the B is to avoid or اجتناب as تشویش. Okay, so they broadcast the beacon in the area for everybody to know that the access point exists in this area, and then because of that the management frames are not encrypted, and also the access point has to broadcast its beacon. So first we started with SSID. We started with SSID and beacon. We said that it is possible for access point to hide its own SSID. It means that we cannot see the access point. Everybody who knows the exact name can connect to the access point. Those who doesn't have the name, they cannot see the access point, and therefore they cannot connect to the access point. It means that it increases the security. So the first step in security, okay, the first step is security in wireless network is to hide the SSID or hide the access point. Yes, exactly. Thank you very much. So it's to hide the access point, but on the other side or from the other hand, how we can find hidden access point, okay, or how we can find an access point in which its SSID has been hidden. So the first thing is that if I listen to management frame, and because management frames are not encrypted, if I sniff the area and somebody requests to connect to a hidden access point, I can get the SSID. So the first thing is sniff the area or listen to the communication, which is easy in wireless. This is the first thing, I can get the SSID. The second thing is that you use probe commands. Okay, use probe commands. Probe commands, access points use probe commands to search the area to see if somebody has already occupied this channel. The access point or the new access point goes to a new channel. If it's free, it uses the same channel. So I can, as an attacker, okay, as an attacker, I can use probe instead of access point. I can use probe to probe the area. And for the access point that I sent the probe in the area, it has two choices. Okay, it has two choices: answer or do not answer. If it answers, you can have its SSID. Okay, if it answers, you can have its SSID, and you already got the SSID. If it doesn't answer, always there is a chance of yes, not busy interference. If it does not answer, in that channel there is always a chance of interference, because when it doesn't answer, there is a possibility that another access point comes and asks and probes the channel. It doesn't answer, so the new access point will think that the channel is free, and it will occupy the channel, and two access points work on the same channel or work at the same channel, and that's the problem. They will have interference together. So this is another thing. And the third thing is that if you can find an station, okay, if you can find a station or a node that is already been connected to the access point, you can send DS, or you can forge DS message and send it to the station. DS messages does not carry the SSID, okay? And forge in Arabic is nasit, okay? You can forge disconnect message or disassociation message and send it to the station that it's already been connected. When it thinks that it's already been disconnected, it tries to reconnect using RS. When it sends RS to the access point, it carries SSID and no encryption. So you can have SSID by listening to the channel استماع. Okay, by listening to the channel, you can have its SSID. Then we talked about encryption. So the first thing, again, I review the first thing, or first step is to hide SSID. But we explained that you should be aware that it's not absolute security. It just helps you, but it's easy to find the SSID. The second step is to use encryption methods that we already taught in the encryption chapter. Okay, we use encryption methods. There are different encryption methods. One of the oldest encryption methods in the wireless security is web, wired equivalent for privacy, but now we say that never use web, okay, because it's now broken. Okay, then the next thing in the wireless security, the next protocol that before I go to other protocols I should talk about is WPS. Okay, and also I can say never WPS. Make sure that the WPS on your access point is disabled. Okay, make sure that the WPS on your access point is disabled. Okay, never use WPS. So we have web, we have WPA, and we have WPA2 as protocols for the Wi-Fi security. We discussed how web works. You see, it uses the 40-bit key, okay, that which part of this key, it's 24-bit is similar to salt, okay, it's here, it's 24 bits is here, and another 40 bits, we take this 40 bits from the key that, or common key that we use for all of the nodes, okay. And also using this key, we have several different keys that it has key IDs, different keys, 2 bits, 4 different keys for each frame, that we do not use the same key. But anyhow, we said that it's already broken and you cannot trust our web. And these are the reasons. That's not important for you. We skip this part, it's not important. Something which is important is this slide. So instead of web only, which is important for you is that never ever use web and WPS. Okay, these two, they are already broken. But instead, it's better you use WPA, or if your hardware supports, you can use WPA to web WPA. Yeah, it's best. It's better if your hardware supports, because it requires new hardware, WPS2 or IEEE 802.11i. It requires new hardware. If you can use the hardware, it's better that you use WPA2. And if your hardware does not support this one, it's better that you use WPA. It uses longer key, but here you see that it uses RC4, but here it uses AES. Okay, it uses RT4, it uses AES. And it says that it hides key better, it means compared to web. Both have new integrity check and replay protection. You remember what was replay attack. And to stop replay attack or prevent replay attack, we should use do you remember? We should use nonce to protect from replay attack. And WPA2 for sure, it needs new hardware, but WPA does not need new hardware. These are two protocols that today we use. Usually in your access points it says AES, or sometimes it says TKIP. Both of these protocols are secure. Always use WPA, WPA2, AES, or TKIP for encryption. Okay, this was the second step. Okay, Sony. Okay, this was the second. The first was to hide the SSID. The second one is to use, or the second step is to always use encryption. Now we talk about wireless attacks. To talk about wireless attacks, I should go to the board. Up to here we already discussed. Now we want to start from here. I should go to the board and start wireless attack on the board. The first thing is that the first attack that we can arrange is a DNS query. Okay, when you have one computer, first we talk about DNS, because we need it also later, so it's better I explain it all together and then we go to the attacking wireless. And consider that, for example, this is Yahoo. So this is, for example, local DNS, okay, and this is, for example, Google DNS, and this is, for example, yahoo.com. Person 1 or player 1 or P1. Okay. You see, when P1 wants to connect to Yahoo, okay, and when it clicks, for example, types www.yahoo.com, okay, sorry, www.yahoo.com. On the internet, we don't know what is Yahoo. Okay, what we know on the internet is IP address. So we need to convert URL to IP. We need to convert in Arabic. Yeah, تحول, I think. Okay, we need to convert تحويل. Yes, thank you. URL to IP address. So therefore, when you want to work with the Yahoo or you go to the Yahoo, the first thing is that you go to local DNS and you ask it, what is Yahoo? Okay, what is Yahoo? And then it replies, it says, for example, the Yahoo is this one, 217.219.42.8, okay, something like that. Okay, it answers you, and when the Yahoo is 217.219.42.8, okay, it will go to Yahoo and then it will receive the reply. This is something that happens in the DNS, okay, or DNS setting. And when your local DNS doesn't know about Yahoo, or it does not have it in local, we call it cache, it does not have it in its local cache, it will go and ask the top layer, okay, such as denial of service attack and hacking. Yes, something like that. If it doesn't know the answer, local DNS, but first we should talk about DNS, then we will go to the attack Zoha. Okay, when we do the local DNS, this one does not know the answer, it will go to the one level higher, okay, or top level DNS, and it will ask it for the yahoo.com, and it will send back the results to the computer people. But something that happens, or something which is important, is that DNS is not, or we say DNS messages are not encrypted. DNS messages are not encrypted. It means غیر مشافر, right? Yes, thank you very much, Jawad. Okay, yeah. So DNS messages are not encrypted. Okay, and the second thing is that DNS uses UDP. UDP is connectionless. What is connectionless in Arabic? And packet based, not connection based. اتصال wireless. Okay, UDP ضعف الاتصال. Yeah, that's better. Okay, not it's قليل الاتصال. Okay, it doesn't have connection. UDP does not have connection. For example, when you send one packet or when you send one command like who is Yahoo, okay, if it answers, it answers. If it doesn't answer, we don't know what happens to the answer or the reply. Okay, we know nothing about it. So whether you receive the answer or nothing. Okay, that's it. And when you receive the answer, that for example somebody says the Yahoo is this one. Okay, when somebody answers like this, for example the Yahoo is this one, for the second and third and so on answers, okay, you ignore them. What is ignore in Arabic? يتجاهل. Yeah, tajahul. Okay, tajahul. Yeah. So there is also possible, okay, in DNS there is also possible that for example you have two local DNSs, okay, like this. For example, I put it as another DNS. The name is another DNS. When you ask the first DNS, you see, like this one. When you ask the first DNS and you ask who is Yahoo, for a little bit of time, if you do not receive reply, you will go to second DNS and then again you ask this one, okay, who is Yahoo? And when it answers, and after this the local DNS also answers, for example it goes to the Google and asks the Google and answers, you will take the first answer, you will take this one, the first answer which is here, okay, and you ignore the second one. Take the first answer and ignore the rest. Okay, this is how DNS works. So you just take a look. If you have question, you ask about DNS. If no, I will continue on the attack, and for 1 minute I will leave my desk, but I will come back quick. If you have any question, just type it in the box. I will answer when I come back. Just so any question? Okay. Now we go to the attack. This is how DNSs work, okay? And remember that I can keep this one. I can keep this one. Remember that the DNS is UDP. Okay, so what we can do in wireless network, now I should also add here the attacker. Okay, this is This is attacker. Okay. Now something that happens is that when P1, which is here, a computer will ask DNS who is Yahoo. Okay, this request will be broadcasted in the area like this. Because it's wireless. The attacker will receive the UDP DNS messages. Okay, it will receive UDP DNS messages that, for example, who is Yahoo, and then it can forge the answer and answer sooner than the DNS. Okay, it's not encrypted. It can listen to the request, it can forge the answer, and then it will reply. For example, the attacker will reply and says, yes, I am DNS, which is not. Okay, it will say, okay, yes, I am DNS. The Yahoo is 192.168.0, for example, 70. Okay, something like this, which is its own IP address. 168.0.70. Okay, something like that. Even if it's encrypted, Ali, okay, and the attacker is in the network, still it's possible. But why DNS communication? It's not about the DNS, it's about the wireless. Even if it's encrypted and the attacker is inside the network, it's still the same problem. But why UDP and DNS communication are not encrypted? That's because DNS does not support encryption, but at least in IPv4. Okay, in IPv4, DNS does not support it in its nature. When they develop the DNS, it does not support authentication. It just uses plain text communication. That one also possible, yeah, but we will talk about that later. Okay, that one also same possible. Okay, that's another attack, we talk about it. Now you see, when you because this problem happens in wireless because it's broadcast. Okay, wireless is always broadcast. When it answers, now something that happens, for example, when it answers yes, I am DNS. Okay, this answer, yes, I am DNS, and the Yahoo is 192.168.0.7. At the same time, or maybe later, the DNS will also answer. Okay, and maybe it says, okay, yes, I am DNS. Okay, and the Yahoo, same answer. The Yahoo is 217, 219, 42, and 8. Okay, but because if the attacker can answer quicker, okay, if the attacker can answer quicker, the P1 will ignore the second answer, will ignore the second tajahul, okay, will ignore the second and third and so on and so forth, the rest of the answer, and it will take this answer as the main answer. So after this, you see, after this you can I will remove the signals, okay, for you to see. So after this, instead of connecting to the Yahoo, okay, instead of connecting to the Yahoo, it will connect to the attacker, and attacker will also reply him as Yahoo, and it will also forge Yahoo with its own web server. Okay, it waits for the P1 to comes to its IP, and it will force the Yahoo, something like that. We call this one the DNS query and DNS response attack. Okay, that's the problem with DNS. We also have another problem with DNS that we say we call that attack DNS poisoning. Poisoning in Arabic, tasammum. Okay, tasmim, or yes, tasmim or tasammum. Okay, something else that you can do with DNS. You see something else that you can do with DNS if you are attacker, okay, and you have access, for example, to local DNS, or even you can have access to one of the DNSs on the way. For example, you have access to this one. If it's not Google, okay, you change the cache of this DNS. Okay, you change the cache or attack the DNS. Okay, you change the cache or attack this DNS. Okay, if the change in numbers is automatic. For which one, Mohammed? Change in which number you mean? It's not automatic. It has a cache and you can change. Yes, Ibrahim. If there are two answers, okay, there are two answers, your computer will pick the first one and ignore the rest. That's the algorithm. So the attacker should answer quickly, more quickly. Okay, if the DNS answers more quickly, so you cannot attack. Okay, but I didn't get what was your question, Mohammed. Then I will continue. If you want to type again, you type your question again, I will answer. So you see, if one attacker can attack one DNS and change the DNS, okay, it's automatic. Okay, but it's cache, you can edit. Okay, or we can say you can inject wrong information. Okay, it's possible for the DNS to inject wrong information. If you inject wrong information to one top level DNS, when these people, also the local DNSs, will ask, for example, Google DNS about the Yahoo, and consider that this is not Google. Okay, I write it top level. Okay, if you can change top level DNS, then they will get automatically, they will update themselves with the wrong information, and also the DNSs themselves. Okay, DNSs themselves, they inject wrong information or send wrong information to their clients. So everybody is using wrong information for the Yahoo, and they will go to attacker. It's like that we call it DNS poisoning. Okay, we call this attack DNS poisoning. You can do it on wired and also wireless networks, both networks. This is something else. It has nothing to do with the wireless, but I also explain it here that it is possible, instead of forging the DNS answer, you also attack the DNS and change the information on the DNS, even in the low levels or in the top levels. Okay. is there? No, the same thing, Haydar, same thing. It's not like can also Russia can also be not DDoS, but it's DOS, can also be DOS, but can also we use man in the middle attack, can also be like man in the middle attack, that we will discuss it later. Okay, we will have it in next slides. So you see what was this word? This is 77. Okay, let me go to a slice that we go to the next attack. So the first attack, you see, the first attack is that when you have victim and you have access point and you have attacker. Victim asks for DNS query and attacker sends forged response. Attacker should answer quicker than the access point, and then it will trap the victim. This is one thing. Another attack that is very easy in wireless is that when somebody is working with the access point, you can forge and send DS messages. DS messages are still in the notes. If you look at the notes, you can see DNS disconnect messages. You can send DNS messages to the victim. It thinks that it's already been disconnected and try to reconnect. Okay, it tries to reconnect to the network, and when it tries to reconnect to the network, again you send DS. Okay, and again it tries to reconnect to the network, and again you send it disconnect. So the whole time the victim or this node spends the whole time spends its whole time in reconnecting. No data transfer. And this is something like DOS. You never let the victim to start sending information or try sending information. Whenever it tries to reconnect to the network, again you send DS and you tell it, okay, you already been disconnected. Again it tries to connect, again you send one message that you already been disconnected, and it will continue like this. Okay, this is easy. Was it clear? I go to the next one. Okay, now the next one, which is also very complicated but very dangerous attack, is that we call it evil twin. Okay, evil in Arabic I think it's shaitan. Okay, and twin I don't know, I will check. Okay, Taba Shari, okay, Shaitan or Shari, yes, something like this. Evil twin, we call this attack evil twin. Something that you do, I can explain this one on the, it was I think 77 on the whiteboard, okay. Okay, consider that there is one access point, there is one AP that this device is communicating with, sending information, okay, and receiving information. Again, I remind you that everything that goes between P1 and AP, the attacker can listen because it's already been broadcast or is being broadcast in the network. So attacker can listen. Something that attacker does is that instead of AP, it will send the information like RS to this one. It says, okay, it says I am AP, okay, and you have been disconnected. Okay, it can forge a message. Okay, it says I am AP and you have been disconnected. When P1 thinks that it's been disconnected, okay, it thinks that it's been disconnected, it tries to reconnect. Okay, when it tries to reconnect, you can act as AP. So it's like that, it becomes, the attacker becomes also AP. So there are two APs in the network. As P1 you see two APs. Which one you connect? Why Russia? We connect to connect with the attacker in the second try. Why it connects to the attacker? What's the reason? Not Jam, it's the first to do the broadcast. No, not first one, but it's this one, I think. Agvio Ishara, okay. It's common for the computer to see multiple access points, even in cell phones. Telephone همراه, okay. Even in cell phones, in most of the cases you see several access points or several BTSs. It's common for the stations to connect to the access point that it receives a stronger signals. Yes, we can say reply quicker, but usually if it has choices, because there is a possibility it's also see another access point here in distributed systems. We talked about it, okay. For example, also there is one access point here, okay, maybe one AP here. Which one it connects? It connects to the, we say, nearest one, or the one with a stronger signal, okay, something like that. So as an attacker, you should try to create, or we say, imitate a stronger signal, okay. Okay, now when you create a stronger signal, P1 thinks that you're better choice than AP, and it will send the information or whatever it is to you as AP. Again, when you want to connect to the AP, you try to act as P1, okay, and you will send information to the AP and say, okay, I'm P1. AP will reply you, okay, and will send some information to you, okay, for example in reply or confirmation or whatever it is, and then you connect to the P1 as AP. It's like that. You have P1 here, okay, and we have attacker here, and we have AP here, okay. You tell the AP I am P1, you tell P1 I am AP, okay. It's like that. You tell AP I am you tell P1 I am AP, something like that, and you tell AP that I'm P1. Something like this happens in the network. We call this attack MITM attacks, okay, or man in the middle attack. We call this type of attacks رجل في المنتصف, something like this. رجل في المنتصف. We call this attack man in the middle or evil twin attack. Man in the middle is a general concept for attacks, okay, like DOS, which is general concept for attacks, and one of the man in the middle attacks in wireless is evil twin. So in this way you can record and you can monitor and you can easily sniff or manipulate all the information of P1. You can change and manipulate and record all the information of, yes, exactly, whatever you want to do with the information of P1, it's possible. You can do that. Everything you want to do with information of P1, you can do that, and you can do whatever you want with the information. So we call this one the man in the middle attack. Okay, let's go to the slides. This is evil twin attack. Evil twin attack is one of the man in the middle attacks, is that you send the disconnect information to the victim. Victim tries to reconnect, and when it tries to reconnect, you say that okay, I'm access point. Two access points, the victim will connect to the access point that receive a stronger signal. It will connect to you, and then after that you will connect to access point instead of the P1, and then you will be man in the middle. It's inverse ratio. Evil twin is one of the man in the middles, because you see MITM, okay, or man in the middle can happen in any network. Okay, this one can happen in any network, and it has many types. One of the kinds of MITM is evil twin, which is in wireless networks. Okay, so man in the middle and DOS and DDoS, they are general terms, okay. They can happen in any network. Even on the telephone line you can do the man in the middle attacks, okay. It's easy. How we can do it in the telephone line is that you can easily, for example, consider that this is telephone line, okay. Consider even on telephone line, okay. Consider that this is telephone line and person A wants to talk to person B. Okay, you can be here as C. Okay, and then you get the line, bring it here. Oh, I should draw it again. You bring the lines here. Okay, and then you tell A that I am B. You tell B I am A. Okay, now if A, just listen, pay attention. You see, if A asks you what is the password of B, or what, for example, what is the name of B, okay, you can ask the same question from B. Okay, if you are B, what is your real name? Okay, whatever the B says, for example, the B says the password is this one. Okay, if the B says the password is this one, again you tell A the password is this one. Now B asks, if you are A, what is the, for example, the secret? If the secret even is this one, okay, again you say, okay, I'm B, and now I'm asking you what is the password, and whatever the A gives you, you give to B. In this way, A and B will think that they communicate together, but actually the C is in the middle, and whatever they send they receive, and everybody can confirm the other side. We call this attack man in the middle attack. It can happen on most of the networks, or on any line, or on any communication. Okay, was it clear? So it can happen on any network, but one of the man in the middle attacks which happens in wireless networks is evil twin. Okay, now the next thing, or next problem with wireless is raw access point. Raw access point means that something that we don't need them, or they are garbage. Okay, شفتين, I guess. Okay, in Arabic, if I'm not, I'm right, it's شفتين. Okay, it that sometimes you use USB. Okay, you use USB, or you use, for example, Ethernet port, or you use port, or for example you use switch port. Okay, and whatever it is, to connect an illegal illegal access point to the network. غیر شرعی. Okay, you connect illegal access point to the network. So it's easy, it's dangerous. Okay, it's خطر. Okay, it's خطر for both wired and wireless networks. Okay, it's dangerous for both wired and wireless networks. Why? You see, you have one, for example, one network. This is your switch, and this is your computers. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4, for example. Okay, مخادعه, maybe something like that. Okay, and consider that this is this is considered that this is router. Okay, and now I put, for example, 3 layers of firewalls. This is router, and these are and IDs. Okay, when you want to, and this is, for example, very important computer, or for example, this is data. Okay, database, and you are attacker. You see, when you want to access this network, it's very difficult that when you want to pass firewall, and I don't know, you should pass the first firewall, the second firewall, a third firewall, and the router, and then the switch, and then you can access the, for example, VIP computer, or you access the database. But something that you can do is that if you have physical access to the network, even for a short period of time, you can take one cable, Ethernet cable from switch, and then you connect it, for example, to one access point. It's very easy, and it's also very cheap. You just open one access point for yourself, hiddenly one access point for yourself, and then instead of passing through the firewall, you connect to the, for example, to your own access point. We call it raw access point. Okay, you connect to your own access point, and it's easy for you to access the VIP and access the database. So no need to pass the first firewall, or no need to pass the second firewall, or no need to pass the IDS, no need to pass the router. You can easily connect because you are already connected to this one. You install one access point, you see. Let me put it here. You install one access point inside the network. Okay, you should have physical access، دسترسی فیزیکی. Okay, you can have physical access to the network. You install one raw access point inside the network, and then when you want to access the VIP, you connect to your own access point. You connect to this one and then receive the data. As easy as this one. Okay, it's easy. That's why we say it's very dangerous, because it's easy to set up, and when you connect to access point, it's not necessary for you to pass the firewall. It's already inside the LAN, or inside the network. You are already inside the network. No need to pass through the firewalls, and no need to pass the, yes, exactly, it's a tricky point. Exactly. So let's go to the next one. Next one in wireless, which is very also again is very important. It's about the range of wireless. Usually we think of range of wireless as, for example, it's several meters or several kilometers, but you should never base your security on the range of the radio, because if longer range, okay, and you need a stronger listener. If you have a stronger listener, you can sniff and listen to wireless from long distance. For example, we say, okay, for wireless networks or for Wi-Fi networks is 100 meters, and for Bluetooth is, for example, 10 meter. The range of the wireless network is Wi-Fi is 100 and Bluetooth in 10 meter. But something that we have for sniffing, okay, this is real device. You can buy it on Amazon. Okay, this is a real device. This is Wi-Fi rifle. We have same thing for Bluetooth. It can listen to the Bluetooth from several kilometers, and then for Wi-Fi, for example, from one or 2 kilometers for Bluetooth and 10 to 15 kilometers for Wi-Fi, it can sniff and record the signals. Is as easy as this one. So never put never base your security on the range of Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. And now conclusion on wireless networks. Wireless networks, they have many security problems, and when you want to use the wireless, you should be aware of the risks of the wirelesses. Okay, because it's very dangerous. It's always broadcast. Even when you encrypt, still people can listen, can decrypt, can gather the huge amount of information, big amount of information from the your wireless networks. Raw access points are very dangerous for even for wired networks, because they are easy to set up, and laptops and other devices that they have wireless connection can be easily connected to your network. They pass the firewall, they pass the IDS system, they go directly to the switch, or they go directly to the computer, like USB flash drives and other communication ports. Okay, and when you want to use it, you should use it carefully, and you should be careful with the wireless. So this chapter already finished. If you have any question regarding this chapter, you can ask. If not, I can go to the next chapter, or we can just have a small break and then we go to the next chapter. Any question? Just hosting. Yes, exactly what I was saying. Some of the attacks that we discussed, these are some examples only for you to be aware of the problems with each network. Some of them was just to connect to the wireless network, or some of them was to, for example, create DOS or create man in the middle or something like that. Okay, now because we have 2 sessions, we can start the second one just earlier, and so we can finish earlier. I will just type in the box here for you. It's my computer time is 3:12. We can start the next session like 3:40. Okay, 3:40. I think it's in less than 25 minutes. Okay, we come back in 25 minutes. Okay for you? Okay, so we start in 25 minutes. When I come back, I will close the class because I should stop the